I've designed two full home gym setups that fit in a 2 feet by 3 foot space. This way you can stay very minimalist in your design, keep your equipment out of the way when you aren't using it, and again, keep a very small footprint so that it doesn't get in the way of your everyday life. Now, I personally work out in the room I'm sitting in now. It's also where I shoot most of my videos, or really all my videos, and it's where I do my 9 to 5 job. So I'm not working out. I like to put my equipment in an office. It's kind of been a pet peeve of mine over the past few years. And I really like to make sure it's out of the way, out of sight when not in use. That way I can use the rest of the space for whatever I'd like to. And with that, let's jump into the actual build, starting off with the dumbbells. The personal ones I use are the Core Fitness adjustable dumbbells that go from 5 to 50 pounds by just turning the handle left or right. Now, I've actually had two versions of these, both of them lasting multiple years. The ones I have now still going very strong. I use them each and every week. And I use them all of 2025 so far. So again, these are pretty awesome I wouldn't say on the cheap side, but they are about $400. When you compare them against similar products, they are on the cheaper side or kind of close to the middle ground, where there are many similar brands that might be heavier, but they cost a lot more. So again, I always have people start here. If they ever need to make an upgrade, you can simply save up the money to try and get heavier dumbbells. Next up is a bench, and I use the Flybird adjustable weight bench. Now this one has been great over the past few years and is the height I was looking for at someone who is 5'11". I was looking for something around that 18-inch height, and this one comes in right around there. So that is why I really like this bench. It also goes into incline and decline, where I do use the decline for certain things with dumbbells. So I highly recommend, if you're looking for a bench, to try out this one, as it has good ratings. And again, I've used it for multiple years without any issues. Moving along, we have a backpack that I like to put weight plates in. This is the Marting Top backpack. It's more of like a ruck backpack, but I use it again to put mostly my dumbbell plates in when doing body weight movements. So these are things like weighted pull-ups, dips, inverted rows. If I'm doing those exercises, I throw the weight plates from the Core Fitness dumbbells. So again, I'm using the same products I already have, putting those plates in the backpack and making them a little harder by adding weight to my body. From there, we have the step platform, and this thing goes 4 inches off the ground. It is actually used in my resistance bands build that I had in the past. I'm kind of bringing it back here so that you can use it in what will be my next setup, which is the resistance bands. So kind of foreshadowing that. But again, this gives you an additional 4 inches off the ground. I use this for doing squats with my heels raised, as well as calf raises while standing on top of it. But moving on, if you want to add in pull-ups, even with dips and inverted rows, the one item I've put into my programs or into my equipment recently is the 1-2 Fit pull-up tower. Now this is a collapsible pull-up station that allows you to easily store in a closet. They do have different versions. I got the one where the feet only kind of fold up on one side. I kind of wish I got the one that fold on both, but it is a bit more expensive, so I went with the cheaper option. Feel free to pick the one you want. But again, I use this to get off my door frames in order to do pull-ups. Now, I moved from a place where I could use door frames for pull-ups to a place where I can't. I used to use the cross grips by JFlex in all of the other places I lived, and they work excellent, and I would still use them today. However, the place I live in now, there is no way those door frames can support my weight, even with these handles, so I had to move to a standalone option, and that is where I found the 1-2 Fit pull-up tower. It's awesome. I use it, again, each and every week, and it can support my weight and up to about, I think, 250 pounds if you are someone who fits within that weight range. Now, to go along with that, another product that's optional, but something I really like to use, is the Hyperbell by JFlex. This is a straight bar that you can attach dumbbells to, and yes, they do fit on my Core Fitness dumbbells. In order to use a straight bar for your exercises like squats, bicep curls, Romanian deadlifts, whatever you want to use it for, it is great for that as well. It can hold up to 200 pounds or 100 pounds on each side. So if you have heavier dumbbells, you can do that. But for me, I'm only using 100 pounds with this and doing most of my exercises that way. Again, I really like this product. It is pricey, but you can save 15% if you use code GamerBody on the JFlex checkout page. So feel free to go over there and make this even cheaper than what I listed out here. All right, I have one more item in this list, and that is going to be wrist straps. I've used the Harbinger wrist straps for multiple years now. They might be fraying just a teeny bit, but overall, I'm still going to keep using them for as long as they will last. I don't think they're going to fall apart on me anytime soon, and I've really liked using them up to this point with my Core Fitness dumbbells. The main reason I even use them at all is if I want grip to not be a factor in what I'm doing, that's when I'll put them on. So things like Romanian deadlifts, I don't really want to think about holding the dumbbells. I really want to focus on my hamstrings and glutes doing the movement. So that is where I like to use them when I want to make sure that grip is not a major factor. So with that, the grand total, if you bought all of these items, is going to come in at $988.94. So we stayed under the $1,000 mark here. Again, if buying from Amazon with those items, and that way, again, we can buy a gym that I think most average people will be able to get a lot of use from and see progression in the future. The only thing you would probably have to upgrade here once you started getting stronger are the dumbbells. So while you're doing this for the first couple of years, save up, and then once you've kind of maxed out all the variations of the dumbbells and body weight, move over to heavier dumbbells with the money you've saved in order to continue progressing further. So the next home gym build I put together fits in this 2 foot by 3 foot space along with the dumbbells because all of it can be stored in a backpack except for the standing platform, which is already part of the first build, and that is going to be my resistance bands setup. And the first item in this list is the Serious Steel Loop bands. Now I have the 41-inch bands. This comes in 6 different sizes that you can use in order to progress further. You can also mix and match as you need to in order to get the tension you need to, again, produce a stimulus to build muscle with the exercises in your plan. My next one is the Geku Resistance Bands bar, and this one's actually pretty cool because you can actually break it down into 3 pieces, and it fits in a nice little carrying case that then goes in the backpack. So again, it makes it very minimalist to carry around, easy to travel with, all of that good stuff. You could definitely fit this in the suitcase. If you wanted to leave out the platform and just travel with only the bands, you could do that and make this pretty easily by just having that bar broken down when you are traveling. From there, we have the Acme J hook handles. I think these are essential. They are slightly long in the J that comes with it, where you put the bands through. But again, I've used these for a very long time. They've held extremely well, and they aren't too pricey. So again, I highly recommend you check them out if you want to have a good build with your resistance bands. So the next item in here is what we store all of the items in, and that is the Marting Top backpack. Again, essential for having it in the build, just because it allows you to easily store these in between uses. And I use the same backpack for my build with the dumbbells and body weight. So we're kind of being able to use it for 2 separate builds here, which is great if you want to, again, save as much space as possible. Next up, another item that's in both builds, the step platform. So again, this gives you 4 inches of pre-stretch off the ground. It was something I initially used in one of my first builds ever, and it's the same one I've used today. So it has lasted a very long time. And again, it is something I've really enjoyed using in both builds to get results. If you want to use the other platform from Geku, feel free to do so, as that one I think is great as well. I've tested for a very long time. But just to make sure we have enough space left over, I wanted to make sure we have the step platform in here, as it is something I used and really did enjoy in my initial builds. And the last piece is an accessory to the Geku bar, and that is going to be the ab roller wheels. So this allows us to attach them to the end of the bar and do ab rollouts, which I really like to do with my resistance band setup. Now to enhance it further, I have a couple more items, and the first one is going to be the Series Steel Band Guard. Now if you're putting the bands around your back, or maybe you're kneeling on the platform, sometimes I like to actually have that. And also I use it for some things like the Zercher squats, where it's across your arms, where the bands feel awkward to have there. This wraps around the bar and the bands, making sure they stay in place and making sure some exercises just feel more comfortable. So I do recommend this as one of the items in the build. Next up is another cross home gym item, and that is going to be the Harbinger wrist strap. So again, there are quite a few items that go between both builds, and this is another one. I've used it in both builds very successfully, so I highly recommend if you need to have wrist straps for an exercise, I highly recommend this brand. Super cheap, around $10, maybe a little bit more, in order to have something that's lasted me a very long time in multiple home gym builds. And the last one is something that Amazon is not showing as active, but I pulled up the receipt of it, and it cost like $6 or $7 to buy, and that is some cinch wraps. Now, I'm going to use the pricing that I got it for at the time, which was $6.99 in this, but do know, as of shooting this video, I don't see them on Amazon. I'm just going with the price I got them for, but you're not going to really spend more than like $10 for anything similar to this, so we're going to go with that same price. But remember, the cinch wraps are basically used to wrap up the bands when they're not in use to make it easier to put into the backpack. So I do recommend that you look into something similar to make it just easy to use. You don't have to. You could just stuff everything in the backpack if you want to. But again, I found this helps a lot with storage. Now, the last item I have here is something I've used for years and years and years. I mentioned it in my dumbbells and body weight exercises, and that is an item I used on my door frame in order to do pull-ups until I moved to this location, and that is the cross grips by JFlex. Now this is a pricey item and I still have them and keep them in the build, but again, I don't really use them because I can't with the door frames I have here. I have to use the 1-2 fit in order to do actual pull-ups. So if you have door frames that support this, go ahead and do it. Now I did bring these on a travel I think I did last year where I went traveling back to my parents' place in New England. So I was able to use their door frames to do pull-ups with just my body weight and pull-ups. But do know that I have this in the build as kind of like a warm-up or to have pull-ups in your first exercise on day 3. But I can't use them now. But it's something I do highly recommend you look into if you'd like a good travel option to do pull-ups. But with that, these are about $119. So again, that 50% savings is kind of nice. But if we add that to the total build, the total with everything, including the cross grips, comes out to $477.73. So we're staying under the $500 mark with this build. So that is it for both builds. We're staying under $1,500 total for 2 full home gyms that allow you to do my program from the comfort of home. If you'd like to see the program I currently have, it does get updated regularly on the website, so I am changing things as I feel like things improve or I can find better ways to make the workout better. But as of right now, head over to GamerBody.com where you can check out for free the entire plan and see if it's something that'll work for you.